It looked like it's happening. Angel Reese is asking out of Chicago already.
Angel Reese officially puts the Chicago Sky on notice. We're not doing the same thing this offseason that we did last offseason. Stop bringing me bums to play.
Angel Reese just told the Chicago Tribune she's not settling for the same we did this year and demanded the Sky get the best players in the league to surround her. Sounds bold, right? Except here's the twist. She's leading the league in turnovers despite missing weeks of action and can still barely make a layup. She's so bad she just earned herself a suspension. Ree wanted to overhaul her teammates, but it might be her that the Sky actually need to move on from. So is Angel Reese the WNBA's biggest hoax in WNBA history? She's definitely no Caitlin Clark.
Me these players. I want the best of the best. I want the upper echelon.
Angel Reese is fed up. She's tired of the losing. She's tired of being the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. She is fed up with the Chicago Sky, and it looks like Angel Reese wants out. It looks like she...
Imagine demanding your teammates get replaced, only to become the one your own franchise might be ready to cut loose. That's the situation Angel Reese walked herself into after her comments to the Chicago Tribune. She wasn't subtle, either. Reese flat out said she wasn't settling for the same we did this year, doubling down that getting good players and great players was a non-negotiable part of her future in Chicago. It didn't sound like a so-called franchise player trying to grow with her team. It sounded like a brat trying to gut her roster on live record.
What Angel Reese had to say. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Oh boy. Reese told the Tribune, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best, because we can't settle for what we have this year. Overhaul this.
The problem, that interview didn't just rattle a few feathers. It reportedly infuriated teammates and veterans around the league. Word came out that a locker room sit-down had to be organized just to talk about the fallout. That isn't what happens in healthy teams. That's damage control. Imagine someone who hasn't yet proven herself and suddenly half the team needs a meeting because of your mouth. That's not leadership. That's dysfunction.
It's stated multiple lead sources told Front Office Sports that the entire team has seen Angel Reese comments and that teammates are unhappy with the direct attacks. A team meeting is planned at which players are expected to address Reese directly.
Of all her comments, one of the ugliest shots was pointed at Courtney Vanderloot. Even though Vanderloot was out for the season due to an ACL injury, Ree brushed her aside in dismissive terms, alluding to being too old for the present and future of the Sky. And that cut deep, because Vanderloot isn't just any player. She's a respected veteran, point guard with championship pedigree, and one of the best court managers the league has ever seen. Carelessly tossing her in the dust does more than insult Vanderloot. It alienates the veterans still playing in the league who know she's earned every ounce of respect.
Can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, two-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. It's all right, Courtney.
And here's Where the irony takes over, the Chicago front office had already gone out of their way to build around Ree. Don't forget, they gave up Sonia Citroen, who, by the way, is in the middle of a Rookie of the Year race and already became an all-star in her first year, to bring in Ariel Atkins. That was supposed to be the move that gave Ree exactly what she wanted, established talent to win now. But instead of gratitude, Ree acted like the staff and roster were never good.
Is looking spooky in Chicago. Instead, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated.
This would have been frustrating enough if she only went after the veterans. But she didn't stop there. Even younger teammates like Haley Van Lith couldn't escape the shade, implying that the whole team was either too old, too mid, or too soft. Suddenly, veterans felt insulted. Younger players felt dismissed, and the one person tying the locker room together ended up being the common enemy. Ree wanted a team rally, but she wound up turning all the frustration inward right at her.
We need great players, and I don't know what that will attract that. Maybe the practice facility will attract that. We'll see. But I think the priority is being able to convince free agents that this is an organization that is going in the right direction. I think, honestly, it would be a leap of faith for a great player to come here and show that this is something that they want to be a part of, and we can bring that championship mentality. A leap of faith to think that a great player would want to come to Chicago.
And when you look at her on-court impact at the same time, it's clear why this whole power play backfired. If you're going to put yourself above the rest of the roster, you'd better be backing it up with dominance. Instead, Ree became the one out of sync, the one who didn't fit into the system she wanted to reshape. In other words, the vision she imagined might have ended up spotlighting the truth Chicago didn't want to admit. Their biggest problem might not be the roster she criticized. It might be Angel Ree herself. And what makes that sting even more? While she kept demanding upgrades and great players, she couldn't even manage one of the most basic things on court, keeping the ball in her own hands.
It's not all her fault. Her teammates stink. They gotta catch that, right? Right! Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby, put down the butter. Butter pecan! Bang! This time of the year is the best. You got pumpkin spice football and Angel Reese layups. Bang! Final play of the game, Angel Reese clutch gene. Womp, womp, womp. That's my Barbie.
What if the very player who was demanding a roster overhaul was actually the one dragging her own team down? That's exactly what happened with Angel Ree. On paper, she put up numbers around 14 to 15 points per game and a double-digit rebound average. Sounds solid at first glance, but when you look closer, she's leading the entire WNBA in turnovers despite missing several weeks of action with injury. Think about that. For a second, she sat out, played fewer minutes than most stars, and still managed to rack up more giveaways than anyone else. That isn't dominance. That's careless basketball.
20% of the time, Angel Reese gets her shot blocked inside of 9 feet. And 100% of the time, she's doggy doo-doo. Burn! Give it to the lady in orange. Uh-oh, you're out. Simon didn't say. 101 turnovers in 26 games for our 2K cover. She's a stat stuffer. Burn! At least she always brings the boom. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Turnovers can happen when a player tries to force the game, but with Ree, it wasn't just about being aggressive. It reflected impatience, bad decision-making, and an inability to keep control under pressure. And her issues didn't stop there. She also struggled with discipline in another column, technical fouls. You don't want to see your supposed cornerstone leader constantly jawing at referees, losing composure, and racking up whistles that hurt your own team, yet re-hit that disciplinary threshold faster than any player.
And watching the bottom of your screen. The contact by Reese.
You can see Angel's right hand got Aaliyah Edwards on the head. And if they do, Lisa, I'm okay with that too, because I think you have to officiate these teams very tightly.
So it'll be a technical foul.
That suspension, it didn't come on some random Tuesday, either it hit right before a crucial matchup against the Indiana Fever. Fans had been circling that game for weeks, featuring the Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky, a rivalry the league tried to mark it, and Reese managed to knock herself out of it. Not because of injury, not for rest, but for striking Aaliyah Edwards in the head on a rebound play. Whether you believe it was intentional or not, referees saw enough to call it, and the league had no choice but to enforce the
Angel Reese, oh damn, has been assessed with 8 technical fouls, and she will be suspended for Friday game unless it is rescinded. And I'm telling you right now, look, he said it best, her attitude. That mug ain't getting rescinded. Angel Reese
oh damn, has been assessed with 8 technical fouls, and she will be suspended for Friday game unless it is rescinded. And I'm telling you right now, look, her attitude. That mug ain't getting rescinded. Angel has struck out again, and the irony here is too rich to ignore. The Chicago Sky, supposedly built around Reese, often looked like a more cohesive and energetic team when she wasn't on the floor. The ball moved better. They defended with more urgency, and sometimes they even pulled out wins without her. Think about how backwards that is. Usually the mark of a star is that their presence raises the team's ceiling. In Reese's case, the less she played, the more often her team found success. A franchise player in reverse. If you ask Sky fans whether they felt like Reese was the foundation for the future, many would probably tell you it feels more like they're stuck with an anchor holding them down. She wanted to prove she was the centerpiece, but the
Now, how many players are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about Courtney Vandersloot? Are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about her current teammates? How many players are going to say, oh yeah, I want to play with that player who has no problem throwing me under the bus with 3 games to go? I want to play with that. Maybe not many.
And that lack of stability exposes the real contrast. Because while Reese was burning bridges and dragging her own team lower, another young star was taking the opposite approach, which sets us up perfectly to look at the kind of leadership and professionalism that Caitlin Clark brought to Indiana. Now, here's the difference. While Reese was busy tossing shade at her own teammates, Caitlin Clark was doing the opposite. Clark has been in the most intense spotlight any player has probably faced in WNBA history. Every detail of her career is magnified. Every game is under a microscope, and every mistake becomes a headline. You'd expect that to wear someone down, but Clark handled it with patience and professionalism right from the start. Even when she went down with injuries, she still traveled with the Indiana Fever, sitting on the sidelines, cheering on her teammates and making sure her presence was felt. That showed commitment. Reese, meanwhile, stayed away from her team when she was hurt, leaving her teammates to carry on without her.
Indiana Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday. Guess who wasn't there? Angel Reese. Angel Reese declined to travel to Indianapolis And her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day to day, and Angel Reese has disappeared